Hello, it is Friday once again, and we were supposed to do another Spotlight Friday, but unfortunately, we're still looking for guests. I know there's a ton of you out here. There's got to be tons of people with great stories, and I'd love to hear from you and get them on air and find out exactly, what's going on in everybody's lives. You know what? Don't be shy. It's not hard to do, and maybe we may make a bit of a conversion. Maybe we'll allow for people to send in their stories and pictures, maybe if they're too shy to come on screen. And that's all good either way. Anyways, be back in a moment, and we're going to get on with some Q&A here for some fresh questions that I picked up in the Facebook groups today. Back in a moment. Oh, well, welcome back. Welcome back. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry if I was a little flustered at the beginning. I was having a little bit of problem with my headphones, and but we got that all figured out. And what else here? Yeah, so we're going to do some Q&A. Found a few interesting questions. A lot of repeat questions I find in this group. I really wonder. I'm probably a member of, I think, 15 different groups, and there's maybe occasionally, there's fresh questions or asked in a different way. But for the biggest part, there's 10 questions. A lot of them are either how do you start or how to get rid of belly fat. It's like a million ways to rephrase that same question, and people don't even go into their group and research it because it's already been answered a million times. But so I try and stay away from those questions, and we'll deal with hopefully seeing some fresh questions from the audience here. I'd love to hear from some people and find out what's on their mind, what it is they can't seem to figure out, and more than happy to help out here. Anyway, so I'm going to bring on screen my my groups. Hold on here, my cat's going crazy here with my wires. Going crazy here. Anyways, I'm going to go bring on my groups, and we are going to go and start answering some questions here. But what I will do here is I'm going to go to my screen. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So we're going to start off with a question here. Gotta figure out a way to dismiss this stuff coming in while I'm working here. Anyways, we're going to take a look at this first question. As soon as I can get her to come up here. For some reason, she's seems to be locked up on me. I'm not sure what's going on there. There we go. Took a while. Sometimes the groups, I don't think, their pages aren't exactly functioning well. This person, her name is Hope Wessel Clayton. I do believe that's what it is. And she's from Fitness and Weight Loss Tips. She says, hello, I've got bad knees and bad shoulders, but I want to start exercising. I've had surgery on both. Any suggestions? Okay, first of all, anytime I see questions like this, I get a little, I don't say I get a little apprehensive, but I get a little bit concerned because first of all, we're talking here about specific medical issues, and especially if someone's had surgeries on areas, that's not a general question that your personal trainer should be answering. Qualified physiotherapist, yeah, I can give you some general guidelines, but the first thing I'm going to tell you is you need to get the go-ahead from your doctor or from your physiotherapist and says you're good to go. Because if you don't, you're talking about joints here, and as you get older, joints don't get any better. You need to take care of them your whole life. If you take care of them your whole life, you'll be doing okay. But a lot of people, they abuse them their whole life, and then finally in the end, they decide to do something about it. So get the okay from your doctor, and then basically you want to start in very light. Doesn't mean you have to go light and you don't have to go intense. You're not able to go intense at all, because if you've been sedentary for quite a while in the first place, the fact that you're doing any exercise at all, providing you're doing the other steps as well, that means eating properly. Eating properly is a whole different discussion on top of that. I mean, but nothing is really rocket science. People need to understand there's no magic ever. There's not even magic in training, no magic in diet, in rest. It's really core concepts. But if you go into some of these groups or you listen to advertisements, people package things up and they make it sound like they all have the magic answer to everything. It's just commercialized crap, folks, okay? Basically, they call their programs, the 30-day this and the 2-week this and the 3-month this. It's just commercial. That's all it is, okay? They're not inventing the wheel. I've been around this game for 40 years, and they don't know anything. Matter of fact, they don't even know what I know. They don't know what a lot of other experienced trainers know. It's just a certain core concept. Yes, people sometimes need individualization. Yes, they do. Not everybody's, starts out the same. Not everybody's built the same. Not everybody has the same life challenges. Yes, yes, yes. I agree with all that. But in the end, there's no real miracle cure for anything. It's called hard work, discipline, and changing your approach to life. So, to this young lady, if I could bring that back up again, I would say, do yourself a favor and get yourself okayed from the doctor first. Once that is done, then we can, talk about a specific program. If you want to contact me, you can feel free to contact me. If not, get a hold of another trainer, but get the go ahead. Make sure your doctors or your physiotherapists are okay and on board with you doing anything. I mean, I don't know. You may have just had the surgery last week. You may have had it 3 years ago. It's tough to answer. Okay. So let's just call that what it is, and we'll move on to the next question. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay. Let's go to this one here. I think we're cooperating a little bit better, although it's coming up really slow for some reason. Anyways, I don't think it's my connection. Gabby Rose Cariglio. Cariglio, I think. Anyways, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, Gabby. And she's from American Fitness and Bodybuilding. And she says, is it a realistic goal to be able to lose 20 to 30 pounds from now to October 31st? I have trouble with giving myself reasonable time frames. I've been working out 30 to 40 minutes, 6 days a week, and tracking macros. Okay, Gabby, first of all, 20 to 30 pounds is, it's reaching. It's certainly not, some people, I can't tell from this picture, and I haven't gone into your profile. I don't know how overweight you are. The first thing I always like the people to acknowledge is, why are you picking 20 or 30 pounds? Why do people have this target number? They think that when they lose this amount of weight, that they're going to look good. If you're a very obese person, you're 100 pounds overweight, and you say you want to lose 30 pounds, it's a safe bet that you need to lose 30 pounds. If you're one of those other people who are just, they're out of shape and you're overweight, but you can't tell if you need to drop 15 pounds, you need to drop 45. You just need to drop weight, okay? And the best way to do that is to be realistic. You've acknowledged it yourself. I'm not being realistic. Well, doesn't that tell you something? It tells you need to change your psychological profile to training, okay? You need to change your whole approach in life, and that is, be realistic. Can you lose? If you told me that, Perry, you tell me what to do, you show me what to do, and I will do it. If you could guarantee me that, I can guarantee you I could drop 20 pounds off you in those 2 months, even 30 pounds. But I really need to know where you're at right now. I mean, I need to see that. If people don't see, I tell people all the time, you need to do some type of a count on yourself. There's so many apps out there that you can use to do that. Figure out exactly where you're sitting, what your normal average intake is over a 2-week period, and then decide how to adjust things from there. So is it realistic? Yes, it's realistic. But the other thing I'm going to throw in there is that the faster you drop the weight, the more lean muscle mass you are going to lose in the process as well. You're not just going to lose body fat. The more you rush it, the more you're going to dig into your lean muscle tissue as well as body fat stores. That's a fact. Okay. So that is why it's always slow and steady wins the race. First of all, it's not as hard, there's not as much deprivation. It's easier psychologically to wrap your head around it. You know, so much easier to say, okay, this month I want to drop 5 pounds. That's a very realistic goal. 10 pounds is even, it depends on where you're at. But if you said 5 pounds and then next month there's another 5 pounds, in 4 months you just dropped 20 pounds. I don't think that's such a bad thing. And I can guarantee you, you've not sacrificed anywhere as much lean muscle tissue in the process. So slow and steady. If you want to do that, if you want to, for some reason, maybe you're considerably overweight, it can be done. You can contact me, or you can contact another trainer, another dietitian, whatever the case might be. By the sounds of things, when I'm hearing this question, you need to get some professional help to get it done, because you need to get an adjustment done on your psychological profile. You need to get things done so that that you're going at this with a level head. Anyways, Gabby, I hope that helps you out, and we're going to move on to the next question there. Okay, so let me just scroll through here. Okay, I do believe this is a question on creatine. Hopefully it's going to come up here. Okay. Okay. It says, this is from, I believe it's Jorge Casola. And what group is he in? He's in American Fitness and Bodybuilding as well. It says, can anybody tell me the right time to drink this? Well, I don't, I'm not pushing any brands here myself. It's just creatine, period. And creatine monohydrate, and it should be in a micronized form. That's what you're looking for. When to take it. It doesn't really matter when you take it, okay? Creatine just allows for the expedient use of ATP in the cells. It allows for more efficient energy use. Taking it just before your workout, taking it just after your workout. Personally, myself, I make 1 serving. I train early in the morning. I take 5 grams in a 24-ounce shaker, just pure water, and I get one of those flavorings with no calories or anything add to that, and I drink it throughout my workout, and then I take a second one. Because with creatine, I told people this time and time again, I don't believe in too many supplements at all. I believe depending on where you're at, you might want to use a good whey isolate protein powder and a good micronized creatine monohydrate, okay? And with creatine, I do believe that it's good to do a creatine load for 5 to 7 days, and then taper down to 5 to 10 grams a day for 1 or 2 sittings. And then from there, just keep it at that for whatever period of time. And I also believe, even though it's not a drug and it's not like steroids or anything else like that, I do believe it's good to come off it every once in a while. So maybe once a month, just, take a week, don't take any in, and then do another load and then continue on like that. That is what I would do, Jorge. I hope that answers your question. Remember, it doesn't matter what brand, it doesn't matter whether it applies to this brand or anybody else's brand. That's what you need to do to make this stuff work for you, okay? Okay, I'm not sure if I've seen this question before. This is in the fitness over 60-ish group. I just managed to get in there myself, okay? Steve Armstrong. Sorry if this is a silly question. Is it still possible to improve, grow, and tone training a body part once a week? I looked at a lot of these responses he was getting here, and it's like, actually, I answered this question here, but I'm going to do it, physically during the broadcast. Steve, first of all, yes, it is. And matter of fact, it doesn't matter whether you are 20 or whether you're 60. Training your body parts once a week in the HIT, which is high intensity training, not to be confused, people use the acronym of heavy duty training. They are similar, but heavy duty is actually kind of a misnomer, okay? If you are ready for that type of training. Is it the only way? Is it the only way to make progress? No, it's not. If you ask me, is it the best way? Yes, it is. But you have to understand something. You may not even be training once a week. You may have to stretch it out over to 8 days, 9 days. You need to read your body, because this type of training takes more out of you if it's done correctly than any other type of training, but it gives you back more than any other type of training as well. Many people will debate that with me, but I've had 4 decades and I have yet to find anybody on here with 4 solid decades of hard, intense training where they still compete and do it naturally and are still doing it. I haven't found anybody. So the ones that are disputing it with me, A, most of the time aren't even natural. B, they barely have a number of years in the training, and they fall into that same rut like everybody else. And just do X amount of sets, get that pump going, which is not the most efficient way to train. So would I do it? Yes. Are you ready to go to the wall in your training? What I mean by that is, most of your body parts, I don't want to see you doing more than 3 different exercises, and I don't want you to see doing more than 1 set for each one. On your initial exercise, I do believe it's prudent to do a warm-up, maybe even 2 warm-ups, okay? But you're not going all out on those warm-ups, and then from there, you're going to take that set, and you're going to go to positive failure. Then you're going to go to negative failure. And then you're going to go to a point where you can't even hold the weight in a static position. That's when you know that you are done, okay? There's smaller body parts like your bicep and tricep, you could get by with 2 exercises. Matter of fact, I will guarantee you that if you wanted to do an experiment, you want to do 1 exercise, and maybe stick with that 1 exercise per month so you could gradually get stronger and stronger that one. You would be amazed on how much strength you gained on that movement over the course of that month and how much you improved physically, because you were so focused. You knew you only had 1 exercise to do. When you're doing that, when you know you only have 1 exercise to do, it is easy, very easy, to go at that and and go all out. Who can't get psyched up for 1 set? Okay, so keep that in mind and go for it, Steve. Give it a try. Be extra careful because you're taking things right to the limit, right? So when you're doing that, just keep in mind that it's not that you run the risk of more injury, but you're taking your body to the limit. And the reason why you may need more recovery time because of your age, and that type of training really taxes your central nervous system. You'll know it if you do exactly what I'm telling you, and if you can't quite figure out how to get there, I'm always available for I do training programs for people. But if you want some more direction, just contact me, and I can talk to you a little bit more on the subject. Fact is, you're going to really tax your system, and your body needs everything to work well, and that means you need to eat well, you need to rest well, because if you don't do those other things, you can't do HIT training because it will wipe you out. You will not recover, and you will go downhill rather than uphill. That's been my experience, and I believe that 100%. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next question here. Take a little sip of coffee if folks don't mind. Okay. This gentleman, I believe a gentleman named Curry Goodwin, and he's from American Fitness and Bodybuilding as well. Okay. It says, is 8x12 overtraining or too much volume for muscle recovery? And what are some great recovery foods and supplements? Okay. I'm assuming he was talking about 8 sets of 12 reps. I'm going to assume that's what he means. And yeah, how do I put this? knowing full well that I believe in HIIT training, if you're not going to do that, there's still other modes of training that are efficient, not as efficient, but none of them require 8 sets of any exercise. And personally, I believe when you're getting up into 12 repetitions, you're at the high end of the scale for reps. If you're trying to actually build muscle, you want to be going lower than that. Even 10 is high to me. You want to be in that, that 6 or 5 to 8 range. 8 might be your target. I personally use 6 a lot in my training, and it's never failed me. I use it with my clients. It doesn't fail them. It's a good balance where you get enough repetitions in, but you can get stronger and stronger. It's a good balance. Okay. The second part of his question there: what are some of the great recovery foods and supplements? Well, there is no such thing as a great recovery food and supplement. They all are supplements. First of all, you could attain a body that you can compete with without touching a single supplement. So I won't even talk about supplements other than the fact to say that if you can't eat enough food to get your protein requirement, get a good protein powder, okay, a good whey isolate. But you don't want to have a weight gainer. Total garbage. It's just protein along with a lot of extra sugars for extra calories, and that is it, okay? The other thing is take some creatine. Use those two. I would, you might want to sip your creatine while you train in some type of a flavored drink, and then and just make sure that you get the proper nutrients into your body. Do you need to rush out and get them 3 minutes after you finish training? No, there's no such thing as an anabolic window. Don't let anybody tell you there is, because there isn't. I don't believe you should be training and then not eating for 8 hours. But you know what? It's like everything else, moderation and reasonability. Okay, so do your training, whenever you can, as soon as you can, get a good balanced meal in. It doesn't have to be extra high in protein right after, because your body doesn't grow right after. Your body is just in the process of breaking down, okay? And it's in fluid motion. You don't get X amount of grams of protein and then X amount of grams of protein get utilized. Your body is in constant motion all the time, okay? So, but you want to keep basically what would be, how I want to put this, like a therapeutic dose of protein coming through your system, okay? So that's what you need to do. Do that. I guarantee you'll get results. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit further here, okay? Okay. Kind of touched on this a little bit here, but we're going to deal with this here again. American Fitness and Bodybuilding once again. And we're talking to Stacy Cox here. Okay, and Stacy asked, how many sets per muscle group per workout works best for mass? And how many workouts per muscle group per week? It says, I am experimenting with set counts now and running about 10 total sets per muscle group per workout and 1 to 2 workouts per week per muscle group. Meaning I'm doing about 20 sets per week. It doesn't feel like I'm getting enough work in. Okay. Stacy, okay. You are suffering definitely from overtraining. If you're not making results, it's because you're already doing too much. Remember the old adage, you can train hard, you can train long, you cannot train both, okay? So if you decide to keep on this way, I guarantee it sounds more to me like you're actually in a rut, okay? And I would not, if you're doing if you end up in doing 2 workouts per week, I don't know how you've got yourself set up, what type of split you have, but there is times where you could be doing 2 workouts per week. For many years, depending on what I was trying to attain, not so much when I was trying to train ultimate muscle mass. In those periods, I still believe that HIIT training is the only way to go. But in lieu of that, I still did minimum amount of sets. For me, working sets I did was 6. Because generally speaking, I would attack most of my muscle groups with three exercises in a session. Okay? And I would do, make sure I do a good warm up on my first primary exercise, which was usually some type of an isolation movement. I always believe in pre-exhaust, and then I would do compound movements after, and then do a finishing movement. Okay. That was for general all around. If I was looking more for mass, I would switch those around a little bit. But just to keep things simple here, if you felt the need to be training 5 days a week, for example, you could do like a 3-day split, and therefore you have your body groups broken up over 3 days, and you go day 1, day 2, day 3, and then you do day 1, day 2. So when you start back on the Monday, for example, you do day 3, and then day 1, day 2, day 3, like that. I think you need to cut down the amount of actual sets you do, and that's where I would start. See where that takes you. Try and bring up your intensity within the workout, and make some adjustments at that point. But less is better, but make the most of the sets you do. I hope that answers your question there, Stacy. Let's go back here. And who are we dealing with here now? Okay, not quite sure. Andrew Murdoch. His group is called bodybuilding, this group. Says, this might be a stupid question, but is there any difference between an intro workout and BCAA post-workout? Does it matter if you interchange them? Well, Andrew, first of all, I don't believe in BCAAs at all, and I don't believe in using any type of drink in order to, why do you need that? If you need a drink to get you into the gym, then you're not dealing with the psychological aspect of training at all. If you can't motivate yourself without getting some highly caffeinated drink into you, or whatever the case might be, or something with BCAAs. I mean, they're all usually combinations of glucose, sucrose, or something else, and they're not needed. Okay, and BCAAs are not needed at all. They're a useless supplement. It sounds to me, I can see your picture here. You're pretty much what I would consider still a raw beginner. Raw beginners do not need any supplements at all. You need to teach yourself how to train first, and then you need to teach yourself how to rest, and you need to teach yourself how to eat, and you need to teach yourself how to bring up your psychological approach to training. When you've got a fairly good grip on that, and that doesn't happen in weeks, it doesn't happen in months, and for some it doesn't even happen in years, okay? It takes time. But once you got it down, you will be in tune with your body. I'm not saying, you have to wait 15 years to take a supplement, but let me just enlighten you just a little bit, Andrew. I've done shows, and I can tell you that I started training at 17, and I haven't stopped 43 years later, okay? And I went, after my show after I won the Ottawa City Championships the first time, and I can tell you right then, I hadn't even taken a supplement prior to that for a year. I took supplements because, like you and like everybody else, I thought this is what you got to do. I mean, literally, my dresser had everything from every vitamin to desiccated liver tablets, protein powders. I mean, it was full. I took everything. After 2 years, I stopped taking anything. And I did not take another supplement until I got sick 3 years ago now. And I needed some help because I was not in that normal category anymore. I came back from life-threatening circumstances. So I needed a little bit of something extra. I couldn't even eat the way I wanted to. Even though I knew how to eat, I couldn't do it. Okay? So you do not need supplements. You don't need BCAAs at all. Okay? Do yourself a favor, take some creatine, mix it in a shaker bottle with one of those, those little things that you can see them in the grocery stores there now. They have zero calories or zero pretty much everything. They add a little flavor, just with water, and just sip that while you're training. You'll be a whole lot better off, I guarantee you, okay? I think we might have time for one more because I like to keep it under 30 minutes if I can. See where we're sitting. Well, we're almost at 30 there now. I will do one more question here. See what we got, okay? Move right along. Okay. No, I'm not going to do that one because we already passed. Okay. I might attack this one in a previous Q&A, but we're going to do it again here. It is fitness over 60ish again. Joe Greger. How can I get past a weight loss plateau that I've been stuck on for the last 2 months? Okay, Joe, I don't know, you don't really talk about what it is that you've been doing to, encourage weight loss. Okay. But plateaus come with the game. Okay. That's why sometimes, you know, you need a little help having a good trainer on board if they're a good trainer. There's so many garbage trainers out there. I do broadcasts on that stuff. I can go into these groups on any given day, and 9 out of 10 of those people I would not hire them at my facility here to ever train anybody because they're just frauds. Okay. So it's tough finding somebody. But when you get, this is where a trainer really comes into play. When you've reached a plateau and it's been 2 months here now, so something's got to change, right? What you've done is your body has acclimated to what you've been doing. You're not challenging it. You're not challenging it physically in the gym properly, or you're not challenging it nutritionally, psychologically. Usually it's a combination of the three. I talk about the 3 cornerstones of natural training and natural bodybuilding. That's outlined in my book. That's coming out in November, at the end of November. What you need to do is make some adjustments, usually not major adjustments, but some minor adjustments across the board. Specifically here, I would deal with nutritional and training. I don't know where you're at psychologically without having a lot more conversation with you, but what I would be doing is if you've been counting macros or counting calories or the two of them, whatever, and been using this calorie count and it's been getting you results, but all of a sudden it's stopped, then you need to make an adjustment maybe in how you eat, how you eat over the course of the day. When you take in which, the bulk of certain macronutrients can make a difference, okay? Adjusting one or the other, up a little bit, a little down a little bit, can throw your body off and make it think, that, okay, I'm getting more of this now, so I don't need to withhold it. I can burn it. These are some concepts. Also, bringing up your intensity, changing your training. I find a lot of people who rely on their cardio because they think that's the way to burn fat. Cardio is not the best way to burn fat. You are burning calories through energy expenditure. If you came into my clinic or I trained you anywhere, or I just, we did online training together, it doesn't matter. If you did a program that I set out for you and you're doing it the way I'm telling you to do, I can get you ready for a show without touching any cardio. I do it. I do very little cardio when it comes to actually getting ready for a show or trying to get into my most cut condition. It is not required. What is required is high intensity, all out work while you're in there. And it doesn't need to be hours, okay? So train hard, adjust your macros. Don't be so concerned about your calorie content. Maybe even allow your calories to go up a little, and maybe you've been too strict for too long. Add a little bit of junk in for a little bit. When I mean junk, I don't mean every piece of crap you can get your hands on. I mean maybe for a week. If you feel like a piece of pie, have a piece of pie. Maybe you want some extra cheese, you do that. You know what I mean? I don't mean eat crap all day long. I just mean make some changes and then go back. See how that does. I hope that helps, Joel. Anyways, I hope you people will, continue to support me on building this channel. It is my life's passion. Bodybuilding has been my passion for over 40 years. I love it. I've been a natural proponent for years. Those are the only people I want to train. I have no interest in training people that take drugs. Nothing personally against them, but this is my platform. You want to take drugs, that's you. You want to be natural and love yourself for the rest of your life, you come to me, okay? What else I want to round up here? Things coming up. Things are moving along with the facility. I still hope to have it open, by the end of the year, no later than beginning of January for that, after New Year's, resolution approach. Hopefully people will do it and stick with it. Some other things. I have 2 pre-orders out on, actually I have pre-orders set up for my 2 books. One about my journey. It's basically a book that's going to support the touring that I'm planning to do as an inspirational speaker. My story is very unique. You might want to get a little bit of a grasp on it. I have a YouTube video. It's about an hour long. It kind of summarizes some of the stuff that I've gone through in my journey. Also, my other book, which is basically going to be a Bible of sorts. I don't like to use that word, being a Christian. I don't believe in worshiping anything other than God Himself and Jesus Christ. But the book will cover everything from a natural bodybuilder, natural fitness, or natural enthusiast point of view. What else? The facility, my books, all the books and my training programs for the month of September are all on sale, and also pre-ordering membership for my facility when it opens. I'm working on a discount for people who pre-sign for that as well. Anyways, I'm going to leave you at that for the weekend. I hope everybody enjoys themselves. I hope everybody stays safe, and that we finally get this situation completely under control. I'm going to sign off for now. Anybody knows anybody that has a story, wants to get in on Spotlight Fridays, I'd love to have them. If not, get them to come in contact with me, send in their picture, send in their story, and I'll just present it on the air myself. Either way, hope you all take care and work hard. Train Bull Fierce. This is Perry Larrabee, CEO of Bull Fierce Training, signing off on The Way It Is Naturally. And I will call that a day. Hold on here, folks. Sorry.